All right, welcome everybody to GAC Racing League tonight in the 360 Sprint Dirt Car Series, Lakeland, USA. These guys are going to be running here. This is race number 8 out of 12, and going to have some storylines here tonight. Joe's here with me again tonight, and we're going to bring this race to you live. Looks like we got 17 guys out there tonight, Joe. Should be a pretty good race.
Yeah, we're getting into the last part of the season here. Tony Gray started off the season super strong. He continued that on for pretty much the whole time. He had one race that didn't go so well, but I think he's proven to be the guy to beat so far for this championship.
Yeah, he's had a couple of bad luck, couple races back. I think he won last week, and looks like he's doing pretty good out here tonight, up in the top spot. Look at the top five: Tony Gray, Michael Palmer, Len McNeese, Chris Samard, Justin Rogers, all up there in the top five right now in warm up. We have 75 degrees, 75-degree track temperature, clear skies here tonight. So we're going to see some grooves changing in the track. And I apologize now, I am sick. I'm on the fourth or fifth day of this cold. Hopefully, I'm at the end of it, but definitely not fun. So while these guys are out here running around doing some warm up, let's go over some points real quick. We'll see where everybody's standing as we come into tonight's race. As soon as I can pull him up here, I'll get him set for you. And right now, the way it looks coming into tonight's race, Tony Gray is leading in your points. Dean Viney still hanging on to second. Mark Koshix is in third. Michael Palmer holds on to that fourth spot. Chuck Shaw Jr. is in fifth. John Estes up to sixth. Randy Perdue moves up to seventh. Billy Rodenberger moves up to eighth. Jim Locking moves up to ninth. Then 10th place in the standings right now is Ralph Connor Jr. And then Len McNeese, Dwayne LaPrade, Gary Shank, and Paul Cohen moves up into that top 14. So we've seen some guys moving up and down in the points the last couple of weeks. Although Tony Gray still is hanging on to that top spot. Dean Biney in second, trying to move in close to give him a little bit of trouble. But, man, Tony Gray's just been really strong.
And he's definitely been pretty tough to beat. We haven't seen a whole lot of guys pass him, but tonight it looks like the times are about as close as they've been between the whole field as they've been all year. So hopefully these guys they put on a great race tonight, and hopefully we see a lot of passing. I know Tony doesn't wish that guys make it rough on him, but hopefully, for everybody else's sake, they can at least give him a run for his money.
Yeah. It'd be pretty good. We want to give a shout out to Deb over at America's Pizza King. These guys say it's also known as the Camel Crossings, and they're located in 7506 Old State Road 25, Lafayette, Indiana. I heard they got some real great food, good company, good people out there. If you're in the area, go stop in, take a eat, take a drink, and let us know what you think. Dean and all these guys say they got some really great food over there and great companies. So hopefully they're tuned in tonight, and we give them a shout out for tuning in, and hope you enjoy the show here tonight.
Yes, sir. It's always exciting to hear about new sponsors and people getting into it. So thankful to have someone else jumping on board here and behind these guys. Hopefully they put on a great show and enjoy what they see.
Yeah, it's funny. A lot of people that don't iRace or haven't iRace before, they haven't really seen what it's all about, and then when they kind of get a view of it and see what it's all about here, they're amazed because how real it is. And I was just watching a race the other day. Tony Stewart's been on here quite a bit, and we've been watching Tony Stewart in the sprint cars on iRacing, and I can't remember exactly who, Joe. I know you usually remember all this information, but isn't it supposed to be like Tony Stewart? I think Dale Earnhardt Jr. and a couple other drivers going into the pro season this year.
Um, for once, I don't really have an answer. I know sometimes they do some like one-off events, but I think iRacing and NASCAR kind of paired up, and they're trying to get some more guys involved and everything. I know Ben Kennedy, um, Christopher Bell, a couple other guys have gotten into it. Kyle Larson, so it's good to see them kind of close that gap up to try to, you know, get professional drivers' input back into it as well. I'm sure that's a huge part of it.
Yeah, and I just saw right before I got into the session here, I just saw a session up by Tyler Clem. I don't know if you're familiar with who Tyler Clem is, but Tyler Clem, for some of you people down in Florida know Bubba the Love Sponge. That's his son, and he's since the kid could walk, he's had him out racing, and Bubba's good friends with Tony Stewart, and when I used to listen to them when I was driving over the road, I used to listen to him all the time, and he was doing driver development with Tony Stewart. Tony Stewart was really involved with him, and right now he's got a session up in the UMP cars, and he's got on his driver information. He's 15 years old, and he's a development driver for Tony Stewart, and he does the Dirt Series, the 360s, the UMP, and something else. I don't know if it was the late models, but I used to keep up with him when I was on the road, and man, for a young kid, 15 years old, he's got a ton of wins, and Tony Stewart, heavily involved with it. And like I said, I saw Tony Stewart out here the other day racing, and I kind of watched a little bit of it. And Kyle Larson's out here quite a bit, so you see a lot of bigger names out on iRacing doing their thing. So it's pretty cool to see. A lot of when they were putting this dirt together and testing, they used a lot of those drivers to, tune it in and get the feel to make sure they were on the right track with it. And now Dirt Rallycross is going to be the next dirt stuff to be coming out. So I can't wait for that, man.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty exciting. I know that a lot of guys are looking forward to just using a handbrake. So it doesn't really sound that exciting to your average everyday person, but to be able to yank an e-brake basically in game, it's a lot of fun. I don't know if you ever have the opportunity in an empty parking lot, try it. You'll see what I mean.
I remember doing that. Those were the days, man. A lot of fun. Excuse me. But these guys are in a driver's meeting, so while they're in their driver's meeting, we're going to go ahead and run our national anthem. We do stand for America, so we're going to run our national anthem, and we'll be back hopefully with Qualify. back here live. We're just waiting right now for the time to run out. These guys are going to probably get back out on the track one more time and maybe get a couple more laps in before we go to qualify. About a minute and a half left. We'll go over the points one more time in case anybody's tuned in a little bit late. First, let's go over what's next week. I believe next week is Eldora Speedway, so should be a good race next week, man. Everybody likes Eldora. They're coming back out to do another little bit of warm up. And my eyes are bad, Joe. You get sick, it affects everything.
Unfortunate.
All right, so the way we're running here tonight, coming into tonight's race in the standings, is going to be Tony Gray is your leader. Dean Viney is second place in the standings. Mark Koshik sits third. Michael Palmer's in fourth. Chuck Shaw Jr. sits in fifth. John Estes is in sixth. Randy Perdue moves up to seventh. Billy Rodenberger moves up to eighth. Jim Locking moves to ninth. Ralph Connor Jr. rounds out the top 10. Len McNeese sitting in 11th. Dwayne LaPrade in 12th. Gary Shank in 13th. And Paul Cohen moves up to the 14th place. And that's in the championship standings. This is race number 8. There'll be 12 races total in this season. And then I'm not really sure, but I think JC probably will go back to asphalt. This is the first season in the dirt. I think these guys did a really good job for the first season here.
And I mean, considering the learning curve that goes on with dirt, I think these guys have done an awesome job, but I'm sure a bunch of them are looking forward to get back onto some pavement, some territory that they know very well.
Excuse me again, man. All right, we're watching qualify right now. We are looking at the 77 of Chris Samard. We have the qualifying ticker up, so we'll be able to see some of the times that come in. And we'll see who's going to start up in the front here. We saw a couple of the guys that were in the top 5 in warm-up, but the track does change for qualify, so that's going to change things a little bit. Let's see what Chris Samard gets coming by the line this time. He's got a 20.014. Tony Gray moves into first with a 19.827. We're looking at the 101 of David Gainforth right here. Right now he's sitting in 11th. Chris Samard up to second. Justin Rogers is going to be there in third. We'll look at the the number 5 of Randy Perdue. See what kind of time he can pull up here on this qualifying lap. Got a good turnout tonight.
Yeah, it looks like we got 17 guys here tonight. I think that may be the largest the field's been.
And that's pretty good for a dirt track. You don't want too many, because then it can turn into a cluster real easy. But that's a nice size amount field right there. So Randy Perdue right now is shown in 13th. He's got a 19.895. That just moves him up now to 4th place. So Randy Perdue with a good qualify. Let's take a look. See if we can catch anybody else out there. Dean Viney sitting in 10th. Harvey Scott is sitting in 8th right now. We'll see if he can pull up anything a little bit faster. Got some nice cars out there tonight too. Got a couple of the old schools motorsports cars out there with Justin Rogers, I believe Tony Gray. Seen a lot of guys going up to the front. Here we got a 72 of John Estes. Now I'm going to slide it on in. So looks like Tony Gray so far hanging on to that top spot. And is anybody else out there? Gary Shank in that number 25. Right now, Gary Shank shown in ninth with a 21.11. See if he can pick up any more time this time around. And we're going to see if we get some long green flag runs here. You're going to see a lot of rubber build up on that dirt. And it's amazing to see rubber build up on dirt, but man, it does. Oh!
Yeah.
And Gary Shank into the wall. Sorry, man.
You're good. Hopefully we do get some good green runs here because, I mean, this is a fun track as is, but it changes pretty quickly. So we'll see the guys running kind of lower, trying to get as close to that inside wall as possible. Once that groove starts to dry out, we'll see guys search around, start to run the middle. Later in the race, we'll see them maybe up against the wall, depending on how worn out the dirt gets. But it's going to go through a lot of changes here regardless, so it should be a lot of fun, and it should be interesting.
Yeah, and especially the longer the green flag runs, I mean, a lot more ill handling these cars are going to get. They'll be searching all over for grip. You may see a couple cautions, usually always do on any of the dirt tracks, but I think these guys now coming here, I believe this is the second time back to this track, so they've had some, opportunity to be on it before. See Justin Rogers getting a bunch of extra laps in, see him running that high line, trying to run it really close to the wall, get used to running up there. Oh, he makes a little bit of contact with the wall. Looks like time has run out. Tony Gray is going to be your leader, your pole setter here tonight. Cannot get rid of the qualify. There we go. All right, starting. Sorry about that. Hang on 1 second. Starting on the pole here tonight, Tony Gray for Old Schools Motorsports. Then it'll be Chris Samar, GAC Racing. Justin Rogers for GAC Racing will be starting third. Randy Perdue will start fourth. Fifth is going to be Mark Koshik. Sixth will be Len McNeese. Starting seventh is Michael Palmer. And eighth, Harvey Scott. Starting ninth will be Gary Shank. And your 10th spot starter tonight will be Ralph Connor Jr.
Starting 11th tonight will be the 71 of Dean Viney. Chuck Shaw Jr. will start 12th. 13th is John Estes. Billy Rodenberger starts 14th. Shane Gross in 15th. David Gainforth in 16th. And rounding out the field in 17th is Paul Cohen.
Nice. All right, we're here with GAC Racing League 360 Sprint Dirt Car Series, and we are at Lakeland, USA in Florida. We have, what is it, track length? A little bit more than half a mile. And we're looking at 75 degrees, clear skies, 75-degree track. So let's keep an eye on what's going to happen here. See who's going to stay out in the front. And look for that groove to move all across this track. All right, we get ready for the pace truck to go ahead and get us moving around here. And we're going to be going green here very shortly. I still like that pace truck. I like to do a couple laps in that.
Yeah, it's definitely different to see from the Mustang and the, what is it, the rough or Porsche?
Yeah, the Porsche. All right, looks like we're lined up 2x2. Lights are out. Pace truck should go in this time. We should be going green. Tony Gray going to start on the inside. Chris Samard on the outside. Justin Rogers down on the inside of row 2. Got a nice looking field here. A lot of nice looking cars here too. Hopefully I can get through this without coughing my brains out. Excuse me. Like I said a little bit earlier, I've been sick. It's like my 5th day of this cold or whatever it was. So hopefully it's on the backside of it now. But we're here for some dirt. We're here to have some fun. Let's check out some hard racing here by GAC tonight. Let's look and see if that pace truck does go in. Yep, pace truck is going to take that hard turn in. We're waiting for the green flag to get these guys going, and we are at it.
Looks like Tony Gray got a pretty good jump. He'll be clear going into turn 1. Chris Samard is stuck on the outside. That lets Justin Rogers get through. So Tony Gray out front, Justin Rogers in second, Samard the third.
And we saw somebody up in the wall a little bit further back, but no yellow. So going to keep it going green. Looks like they single filed out through the front. Tony Gray out to a really good lead right here. Let's go back a little bit here to Len McNeese right now sitting in 6th. See where Dean Viney is sitting tonight. Dean Viney right now in 11th. Let's take a jump on with Dean Viney real quick. Do a lap or two around with him. Jump up to the 5 of Randy Perdue. Randy Perdue right now sitting in 4th. You can see Chris Samard right in front of him. Justin Rogers in 2nd, right up in front of Chris Samard. And Tony Gray out to a 1.1 second lead. See Billy Rottenbarger side by side right now with John Estes. Shane Grossen at number 41 in 15th. It looks like Samard trying to close in on Justin Rogers there. Started to make a pass on him on the inside, but could not get it done.
I think right now it's going to be a little tough to make a pass once we see the guy dry out a little more. Should be some more guys searching around trying to experiment with a few things, so I'm sure the racing will get better here as we go.
See Ralph Connor Jr. in that number 1 almost slide up into the 84 Len McNeese. Right behind them is the 25 of Gary Shank. Take a look from inside Gary's mobile here. You see that dirt being kicked onto his visor. Let's go up to Chris Samard. Chris Samard, look how close he is to Justin Rogers right there, trying to make that move.
And it looks like Chris is really trying to use that low line, stay close to the inside wall. Justin's running up a little higher. So you see Chris get to the inside there. Justin keeps the momentum coming out of that turn. Chris got a little wiggle there. It's going to take a few laps to get that track position back, unfortunately. We do have a caution.
Yeah, it looks like maybe Excuse me, Mark Koshicks might be involved in that. Let's go back and we'll see if we can try and figure out what happened here. Riding along with the 33 of Mark Koshicks here and see if he was a victim. Oh, he makes contact with the wall and then hard onto the outside. Let's go back one more time and take a ride with him and see what happened here. And you can see the track drying out too. You see him coming down in low, a little bit too low, makes contact. All right, so let's see. We have Tony Gray out front. 14 laps. We have 42 laps here tonight. We're under caution number 1. Now, I'd say that was definitely a great run there at the beginning of this race. Tony Gray able to hold on to the top spot. Justin Rogers does move up into second. Chris Samard in third. Randy Perdue in fourth. Harvey Scott is in fifth. Sixth is Michael Palmer. Seventh is Ralph Connor Jr. Eighth is Len McNeese. Ninth is Gary Shank. And rounding out your top 10 is Dean Viney. These guys are side by side. We should be getting ready to go back again.
Yeah, it's pretty surprising how quickly the track started to dry out. I mean, 15 laps and the track's changed quite a bit already. So look for it to really lay some rubber down here, probably in the next 10 or 15 laps, I would assume.
Yeah, and if we get another run like we did that first time out, I mean, you'll see it drop down really fast. You'll see that big, thick, black groove, and you'll see a lot of these guys up against the wall.
Looks like the pace truck hits pit road. Green flags out. They're back underway here at USA Speedway. Looks like Tony didn't quite get the restart he did on the first time. Justin Rogers will actually lead that lap, but Tony worked that inside very well right there, able to pull back ahead.
And they're side by side behind them, trying to get as many positions as they can on that start. You see the 1 of Ralph Connor Jr. underneath the 31 of Michael Palmer. And we'll see Ralph Connor Jr. now looking to close in on the 15 of Harvey Scott. Up front, single file. We do see somebody coming down low.
We saw Chris Samard scrape the wall. Randy Perdue was able to get by. Now they're side by side with Ralph Connor Jr. and Harvey Scott.
Yeah, I tell you what, I seen that number 1 coming up the track pretty quick. Chris Samard side by side with Randy Perdue, and then you got Ralph Connor Jr. and Harvey Scott side by side, and these guys are battling it out pretty good, man.
Oh, they went 3 wide.
Oh, some contact.
They stay green though. Harvey Scott and Ralph Connor Jr. made contact, able to keep it going straight though. And we see Michael Palmer there side by side with Harvey Scott.
And Michael Palmer going to take it down low now, try the inside. Going to tuck it right up in behind him. Oh, we have somebody in the wall. Yellow is out. Looks like the 41 may have been a part of that also. Let's go back and see if we can find out what happened. The 41 of Shane Gross down low. The 72 of John Estes up high. Looks like Billy Rodenberger behind them. And oh, that was Len McNeese there. Let's go back one more time. Let's look inside and see what he saw coming up to that turn. Can't see a whole lot with all that mud, but man, we saw the 84 of Len McNeese. Something violent happened with him. I think we might have seen another one of those springs on the track, Joe.
Yeah, that didn't look good at all. Kind of looks like he brushed the inside, shot to the outside wall. Kind of like the wreck we saw previous to that. Looks like he had to toe to pit road there. So
yeah, heavy contact right there. All right, not too bad. Under caution number 2. 19 laps to go, man. These races are quick in the dirt series. Let's take a quick look at our race summary. 23 laps completed. 2 lead changes because Justin Rogers was able to get up and lead 1 lap on the start. We're under caution number 2. Tony Gray on the inside. Justin Rogers once again on the outside. It looks like the only 2 cars that are laps down right now are Len McNeese in 16th, Mark Koshik in 17th. The rest of the drivers are all on the lead lap. So good run here for a lot of guys here tonight. Going to help a lot of guys in the points. Base truck does go in. And I don't know what happened there, but Justin Rogers was way out ahead. Not really sure what that was all about, but it looks like he does get that spot back. Save himself from a penalty.
yeah, it looks like he let off a whole lot right there to give that back. Now he finds himself. Now we got another
yellow. It looks like it might be with the 56 of Chuck Shaw Jr. Let's go back one more time and take a look, see what happened. Try to get a better camera angle here. We see the 15 up into the wall. And then it looks like the 56 tried to avoid it, and he got a little bit loose there. Let's go back with the 15 and find out how he ended up in the wall. I don't know if he made contact with anybody or if he just brought it up a little bit too high. Oh, he makes contact with the 1, goes up into the wall. Guys do a good job avoiding, but you can see the 56 there. He tried really hard to check it up and get around him, but unavail. All right, we're back live here. 14 laps to go. So we have Tony Gray and Chris Samard now up front. Justin Rogers in 3rd, Randy Perdue in 5th. Excuse me, Ralph Connor Jr. in 5th, Randy Perdue up in 4th. I'm not sure what I was thinking. How about let's jump in with Chris Samard. And we'll take a start from inside. Give you a feel of starting on the inside here. On the inside of the car, the outside line. And we are starting in 2nd place on the outside. Tony Gray is down on the inside. Justin Rogers and Randy Perdue in row 2. Ralph Conda Jr. and Michael Palmer back in row 3. We're waiting for that pace truck to go on in. We'll wait for that green flag to drop. And we're back at it. Tony Gray gets a good run down there on the bottom. Chris Samard able to hang on pretty tight. Starting to see some rubber built up in that middle groove there, Joe.
Justin Rogers going to take a look on the inside here. Or, sorry, that was Randy Perdue taking a look on the inside of Justin Rogers. Wasn't quite able to make that move stick.
Look at Chris Samard trying to take a look at the leader here, Tony Gray in that 00. 10 laps to go. He's got to do it now if he's going to do it. And so far not able to, but we have a bunch of guys further back here. Ralph Conner Jr. right now moving up underneath the 5 of Randy Perdue. Ralph Conner Jr. trying to take that 5th position away from Randy. Looks like he might have it going into the turn. Randy got a powerhouse on back on the outside. Randy going to keep that 5th spot.
Yeah, those guys on the low line. Oh, contact right there. Lets Randy Perdue pull ahead for the time being. Those guys on the low line are definitely having a little bit of an issue. It's hard to get the car to rotate or keep it pointed straight. They want to over rotate right there because that part of the track gets really slick. You see second place Chris Samard kind of changed his lineup just a little bit. Try to close that ground back up on your leader, Tony Gray.
And you see Tony Gray, Chris Samard, Justin Rogers all running in the position that they started right now. Also, Randy Perdue started 4th, running in 4th. Ralph Conner Jr., though, he runs up from 10th all the way up to 5th. Dean Viney started 11th. He's sitting here in 6th. And then Michael Palmer started 7th, sitting in 7th. Gary Shank started 9th, moves up 1 to 8th. Harvey Scott started 8th. He's lost 1 spot, sitting in 9th. And then John Estes started 13th, and he is up in 10th. And we are winding these laps down, man. 5 laps to go. Tony Gray out to about 7/10. And Tony Gray right now 36 laps led, coming to 37 laps led. See if we got anybody else close here on the track. Looks like Harvey Scott, Gary Shank probably real close for 8th and 9th.
See Dean Viney in the middle of that battle right there. You got Michael Palmer behind him.
And then side by side behind them was Michael Palmer and Harvey Scott and Gary Shank. 3 laps to go. Great run here tonight. Chris Samard going to try to do anything he can right now to close in on him, but I don't think he's going to be able to. He's got him down to about 3/10 right now. Tony Gray. And look at that, man. A power move down on the inside. Going to try everything he got to get around Tony Gray in his last run here.
You see Chris driving it in on the bottom really hard.
Oh, man. He makes contact. He's going to lose that spot, I think, to Justin Rogers, maybe. What a great effort, though, man, on Chris's part. And looks like Tony Gray's going to come back and take the win. Chris Samard going to finish 2nd. Justin Rogers is going to finish 3rd here. Man, that was exciting right there.
Yeah, that was an awesome move. Trying to drive it in, dive it in hard like that. Probably trying to pull a slide job. Didn't quite work out, though. Almost lost the 2nd spot, but able to hang on to it there at the very end. Definitely made it exciting, and it was definitely no lack of effort right there.
So Tony Gray going to come out here, 41 laps led. And Chris Samard puts a good effort there at the end. Going to try and make a move on him. Almost has it too, man. But they that contact, I thought they were both gonna go around. Justin Rogers will finish third, so not a bad run here tonight, man. Quick look at the summary. Only three cautions, 42 laps, and two lead changes, man. I tell you what, these guys definitely getting it done here tonight. So let's go. We'll take a word in first with Justin Rogers in third. Excuse me. Justin Rogers, this is Paul and Joe up in the booth. You got a copy.
I got you, Paul.
Hey, man, great run here for you tonight. You started third, you finished third. We were surprised to see a lot of you guys running in the position that you did start in, and you managed to get up there and lead one lap. How was the race out of your view?
Track stayed pretty good until 10, 15 to go, and then the bottom went away. And we moved up top. The top three moved up top to, try to find some moisture, which, the speeds drop off up there pretty good. But I think we pulled about a second on fourth place. So
Yeah, I think it was a really good run. You guys only had a couple cautions. Really got some long green flag runs in there, man. Some real hard racing between y'all. Excuse me. Just getting over being sick here. But definitely a strong night for you here tonight. We know you weren't able to make a whole bunch of races because of your work schedule. But got to feel good to come out here and pull a third place finish, though, after all of that.
yeah, it felt pretty good. I had a little mess up on my part. I jumped one of the restarts there, and that's when Chris got by me. I was keeping him behind me there for a little bit, but he got by me on that. And then the caution come out, and I never was able to get back by him.
Yeah, we were looking at that. We said we saw you give back that position to, I guess, to avoid being penalized or anything. But it happens, man. You make a mistake here and there. Things don't always go the way it's supposed to be. But like I say, man, you still recovered. You get, you start third, finish third, and you lead a lap. So not bad. Next week is Eldora. You think you're gonna be able to make it to race here?
Yeah, I should be. I should be at Eldora.
Yeah, you do pretty good at Eldora. You like that track?
Yeah, I mean that's probably what I've ran most on here. I mean, out of all the dirt stuff that we have, which I've been running Lanier a lot, but Eldora is one of my favorite tracks as far as the dirt stuff now.
All right. Well, we'll be there next week. And before we let you get out of here, man, anybody you want to shout out to or give a thank to?
Yeah, Paul, I want to thank y'all up in the booth for every week that y'all do this. Not only this league, but all the leagues that you do. Dean for putting this on, and everybody at Pizza King Bar and Grill that's tuning in tonight. And then I want to thank my sponsors, Old School Motorsports, Fast Track Sims, and Sixes Bar and Grill.
Now, I tell you what, man, those old school motorsports paints should look good out there, man. We see a couple of them out on the track every week. Real good job, man. We like the paints out there. And good run tonight, man. Started third, finished third, get one lap led. And hopefully we'll see you at Eldora next week.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
All righty. All right, bear with us for a minute. We're going to try and get a word in with Chris Simard.
Hey, Chris, it's Joe and Paul up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Well, man, we saw a really good race tonight. We only had three cautions. It's a really great race, honestly. We saw the track go through a whole bunch of changes, and we saw you try to drive it in really hard there at the end, trying to make something happen to get around Tony Gray. How'd everything go from your point of view?
I couldn't. Well, I was catching him there at the end a little bit because it really benefits you to the wing position, the top wing. You can move it in the in-game settings. You can move it back and forth, and it really. I moved it forward a little bit. And I started to catch him at the end there, and I went down low. That's probably the only way I could pass him is way down low, and I went in a little too hard, and I'm glad I didn't wreck him. I kind of I don't know tank slapped him or something. I don't know what they call it, but it was fun anyway. So
Yeah, it looked like there was a little bit of contact. It didn't really I mean, it only hurt you, it seemed, which I guess that's good. Nobody wants to take the leader out, but a great race here tonight. I know that you didn't really run a lot, um, but still to come out and try to run and to race hard for wins and try to make it tough on these guys. I'm sure that it feels nice to have like guys up front that are just racing hard and trying to do it clean. So I'm sure the guys really appreciate that. Um, but yeah, a great run here tonight. We've seen you have a couple great runs. Next week we're headed to Eldora. Do you think you'll make it there?
I might come out for Eldora. I don't know what my plans are for next Monday, but it's always fun to come out and try these cars because it really transfers over to the to the asphalt oval tracks because you get so much car control from these cars. If you get loose on the asphalt, it really you really have car control. So
Yeah, I'm sure it definitely helps out with steering inputs and throttle control and things like that. Yeah, well, hopefully we see you next week. But again, another great run here tonight. You finished second place. Had a close, hard-fought battle there at the very end. And we just wanted to congratulate you on your finish tonight. And before we let you go, is there anyone you'd like to thank?
yeah, I'd like to thank GAC for and Dean for letting me race tonight. I'd like to also thank you guys in the booth. You do a heck of a job broadcasting, and I'd like to make a small shout out to Pizza King Bar and Grill. I guess they're watching. They were watching tonight, so I hope we put on a good show for them. So, and my wife and son.
Awesome, man. Go ahead and we'll let you go celebrate. And hopefully we'll see you next week. Have a good night.
All right, Joe. Have a good night.
Good run,
Thanks,
man.
guys.
All right, we'll get a word in with Mr. Tony Gray here in a minute. Hey, Tony Gray, Paul and Joe up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. Got you guys.
All right, man. You started on the pole. You almost led all the laps. We seen on one start that Justin Rogers was able to get to the line before you. We're not talking about the one where he jumped the start, but still, you come out of here 41 laps led. You come in here the leader in the championship points. You're gonna leave here tonight in the championship point standing lead again, man. How's it feeling?
I'm feeling great, man. I'm gonna tell you, this season has been unbelievable. I was really looking forward to it. When we found out that we were gonna be running dirt, but I'm gonna tell you, it's turned out a lot better than what I anticipated. So I'm excited right now for sure.
Yeah, we seen in the start like this. We all know this is the first season in the dirt with GAC, and the start was a little bit rough. Some of the guys weren't really used to the cars, but man, this second time around back at USA. The competition's definitely stepped up, man. 3 cautions for the night. A lot of hard racing, long green flag runs. Chris Samard giving you some pressure there at the end, man. I don't know. You got to make you wonder how the rest of the season is going to be.
Well, like I said last week, it's definitely going to get interesting the rest of the season. The rest of the season, and I knew it was going to. And I was watching Chris out in practice, and I was watching him run around there, and he was getting around there, and he was trying some stuff on the bottom, and he was making it work in practice when the track was all black and slicked up. So I was looking for him there at the end to kind of do that, and I was just hoping that he wouldn't carry too much momentum in to get into me and take us both out or whatever. But I mean, I raced against Chris enough doing everything else to know he's too good of a driver to take that kind of a chance. So but yeah, I was kind of expecting it. Glad it worked out the way it did for us tonight. So yeah, definitely for sure he had that bottom line going there for a lap or two anyway.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, man, that old school's motorsports 00 out there looks good, man. We see a bunch of you guys out there on the track, man. Some real nice, sharp-looking paint jobs. You got some real good talent going on here this season. And we just want to remind everybody that Tony Gray was he's the last season's championship winner in the super late models, and then right before that he was the champion in the trucks. So he might have a third championship coming here. I don't want to jinx it for you, man, but that's what we're shooting for.
Oh, most definitely. When we come into this season, that's our goal right now, is to try to get this championship, make it a three-peat. So I think they said the dean was saying that no one has done a 3 back-to-back. So hopefully we can be the first one to do it over here at GAC Racing.
Yeah, we can see some history in the making, man. But definitely a great run, man. You start first, 41 laps led, finish first. Look real good out there. Next week is Eldora. I'm sure you probably got many laps in Eldora.
Yeah, definitely have turned quite a few there. Like I say, definitely expecting for the competition to step up at that place with it being such a wide place, and it's just wide open, hammer down all the way around there. So should be some good hard racing there for sure.
All right, man. Well, listen, congratulations on the run here tonight. Good to see you out there. And before we let you get out of here, man, anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, got to give a shout out to Dean over here at GAC, him and Lynn, all the admins over here to put this thing up each and every week. All the hard work that goes behind the scenes that a lot of people don't get to see. Want to definitely give them a shout out. Want to thank you and Joe up there at SR Broadcasting, all the broadcasting, great jobs y'all do each and every week. It's great to go back and watch the replays the next day, see how things turned out. My teammates, especially over here at GAC, Justin Rogers and Shane Gross with Old School Motorsports, got to give them a shout out. And tonight we're going to be giving a shout out to the guys and gals up at Pizza King Bar and Grill up in Indiana. I heard they were out watching us live tonight. Locals call it the Camel Crossing, so give them a shout out there tonight also.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's good to have some more viewers tuning in and let them see what it's all about. Let them see the emotions and what goes into all this, man. There's a lot of hard work, a lot of emotions, and a lot of talent out here. So it's good to be able to bring that to people that normally wouldn't see it. So you guys put on a great show for them tonight, man. Congratulations on the win, brother.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, sir, congratulations. Hopefully we didn't give you the broadcaster jinx there for the championship run.
Let's hope not. We're gonna do our best to bring it home. That's for sure.
Well, I knocked on wood for you when he said it. So
Thank you, Joe. I need all the help I can get, brother.
yeah, take it easy. Have a good night, man.
All right.
You too. Thank you, guys.
All right, well, there you have it, man. Tony Gray, your winner here tonight. He starts on the pole. He comes out with 41 laps led, man, and great run here tonight by these guys here at GAC. And we do want to give a shout-out to America's Pizza King. Like you said, the locals know it as the Camel Crossings. They're located at 7506 Old State Road 25 in Lafayette, Indiana. If you're anywhere in the area, traveling through, stopping by, go on in, get yourself a eat, get yourself a drink. All these guys over there, the locals say, got some of the best food over there. You can't go wrong. Good people, good company, good food. So go on and stop on in. Joe, let's go over the summary one more time, and then we'll go over the results, and we'll pack it up and head up on out of here, man. We had 42 laps here tonight. We've only had 2 lead changes. You see Tony Gray does come out your winner. 3 cautions, man. That is really a great run here for these guys. This is only their first season in the dirt. This is the second time at USA. Next week, these guys will be live at Eldora at 8:45 right here on SR Broadcasting. Tune on in. You're going to see some more hard racing. And we'll see if anybody's got anything for Tony Gray. The way it looks right now, Tony Gray's pretty good on fire, man. You know, I told myself he got to watch himself out in the garage area. Because I think somebody's going to want to maybe break some legs or something then to keep him out of that car, you know?
I'm sure he's going to watch his back a little bit.
But yeah, definitely a good run here tonight. All right, well, let's go over the results. You got Tony Gray. He takes it home first tonight. Chris Samard will finish second. Justin Rogers does finish third. Randy Perdue takes it home fourth. Fifth place is Ralph Connor Jr. Dean Viney will take it home sixth tonight. Harvey Scott will finish seventh. Michael Palmer will finish eighth. Gary Shank takes home ninth. Rounding out your top 10 is John Estes.
Finishing 11th tonight is Billy Rodenberger. Chuck Shaw Jr. finishes 12th. Shane Gross in 13th. Paul Cohen in 14th. 15th is David Gainforth. Len McNeese finishes 16th, and rounding out the field in 17th is Mark Kosich.
Awesome, man. Well, good run here tonight, guys. Joe, thanks for coming out. I'm really glad that you're able to make it out. Excuse me, with me tonight, because I don't think I could have done it alone, man. This cold is kicking my butt. But we do appreciate you tuning in, and everybody over there, America's Pizza King, also known by the locals as the Camel Crossing. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Hopefully we'll see you next week at Eldora. And until then, everybody, stay safe, and we'll see you then. Bye.